Hello and welcome to the Old World Garage channel.
Hey guys, it's Elvis. Welcome to the channel. Well, I've been working in this on this Opel Insignia 2.8 Turbo OPC, so top of the line. It's an automatic car. It's a customer car, yeah, I was not quite happy when I took the car for a test drive. How the transmission was working. It was a little bit sluggish, so I went ahead and wanted to change the transmission fluid to find out you actually cannot change it, how at least I used to. Well, you have like 7 liters of automatic fluid in the gearbox, and you are only able to change 2 liters without using any special flushing equipment or just taking the gearbox down. You don't have like a sump as like I'm used to, and you cannot change the filter without opening completely the gearbox. Yeah, it's a completely mess. Long story short, I will give you just really a quick overview. It's not hard to like flush it, but yeah, it's really time consuming. So what you need to do, I have the car here on the lift. You have like a cross member here that is screwed with 2 screws which you need to remove. That is this one, not pretty hard, and then you will find these like 2-step screws with an inner screw and like an outer screw. The outer screw has a tubing on it which actually is like the overflow of the engine box. So if the fluid comes again out of the middle screw, sort of say, the engine, not the engine, I'm sorry, the gearbox fluid is topped up. So this is one thing you need to do. This is pretty easy, and as you can see, here is the engine oil pan, and here on the gearbox you really have nothing. Another idea will be like remove this coolant pipe and let the engine run so the gearbox drains out, but I'm not sure if that will do any damage. So what I did, I went ahead and bought 12 liters of gearbox ATF. I recall that the gearbox only has 7 liters. When the gearbox fluid came out the first time, it came about like 2 liters. The gearbox was cold, so according to auto sourcing, maybe if the gearbox is warm, more oil will come out. That is because the internal parts of the gearbox will get warm and take more place inside the gearbox, so more fluid will come out. So I took 12 liters of oil, and a question is for sure, which oil did you take? I got this one. I'm not sponsored or anything by Ravener, but if you see this DWS, you will find somewhere here, I hope you can read it, is for the S in Warner gearboxes, the AF40-6 for the 6-bit. So I took this oil. Yeah, and what I did, I just going to show you the filling screw is pretty easy. I drained the oil, 2 liters, taking first the inner screw and then the outer screw. Everything back. Then go to the filling screw and I fill it up until from the outer screw, you remember the one with the tube, oil comes out. then you just screw the inner screw back, so the system is completely closed. You turn on the engine, so the torque converter starts working, and the oil pump is pumping oil through the system. And then you shift all the gears twice, so you go to reverse, and then again to these, take like 3-4 seconds. Do that twice or 3 times, and then you go back again, filling the gearbox while the engine is still running. And then you can fill again like maybe out of 1.5 to 2 liters. You do that while the engine is running. And then before you do that, I almost forget, you take the inner screw again out while the engine is running. Don't worry, no oil will come out because the oil pump and the torque converter, everything is working, so oil is going through the system and the oil level will go down indeed. So you fill that up again until it pours out. So during this process you change about 3 or 4 liters of automatic oil while the engine is running. You can stop the engine again and then start again. And this will take about, as I said, 3 to 4 liters oil. We remember this is 7 liters in the gearbox. So the first time that I did it, well, before the changing, the oil was completely black. I will post a picture right here so you can see it. And the first time I did in this process, the oil was still black, so no much difference. The issue is you mix the new oil with the old oil, and you will always have some old oil in the system, and that is why I don't like this kind of how should I say, lifetime fill ups where no change is planned. This car has 175,000 kilometers. And it's a shame. The car is in perfect shape and you are not able to change the transmission oil, and the transmission is, it's still working. The car drives quite okay, but you have this like sluggish shift. They are not sharp, they are not crisp, they are just like, I think every car guy or girl knows that kind of feeling. So I did that process. I did 3 times, so I used the 12 liters of oil completely. Now, when you fill up the gearbox for the last time to finish the job, keep in mind Opel wanted you to overfill the transmission. I'm not quite sure about the reason, but in the last step, while the engine is running and you close the inner screw because the oil is coming out, you stop the engine, and according to the specs, if the transmission is 40° warm, you fill up 0.4 liters of engine oil while the screw is closed, so you overfill it. The warmer the gearbox is, the more oil you need to fill. I think it was at the full operating temperature, like 80-90 degrees, it was 0.7 liters of oil that you need to get there. I'm not sure it will make a difference. That is just what the technical specifications of Opel say. Okay, I'm just going to show you where the fill hose is. Okay, so to gain access to the fill screw of the gearbox of the Opel, you need to remove the battery indeed, and then you need to remove the battery box. It's bolted down with 3 screws, and then you end, I'm sorry for the camera movement, you end like here. You can see here 1 screw, 2 screws, 3 screws of the battery box. You need to unclip some clips like of this ECU of something, and there is like another wire here. Then you need to get loose from this box which goes on the top of the battery. You just open here and everything is self-explaining. Now the fill screw of the gearbox is this one here, I used a Torx to open it, and if you remove everything, you have like a very good access. So now comes the important thing, and when I'm changing the engine oil, the gearbox oil for 3 times, you don't want to all the time remove the battery and fill it again, especially you can't let the engine run and fill the gearbox oil at the same time without having access to the fill hole of the gearbox. So you need to get yourself a funnel like this, so you can just have remove the battery, remove the filling screw, get the funnel in, and install again the battery, so you have enough space. Show you so you can better have a picture of it. So you have the funnel like here coming up, reinstall the battery without the box. You don't need it, it just holds good over here, and with the mounting of the wires. And you just make sure when the engine is running that the funnel does not touch the heat shield here of the turbo, and then you will have no problems. So that's the fastest way, in my opinion, to get the job done. But with everything, just take like 4 hours, yeah, with removing everything and changing the oil and getting everything back. Make sure if you are in a workshop that the doors are wide open, or you can extract the exhaust gases so you don't get a health problem. Never forget of that, very important. So that's I think the most important things to changing the engine oil on this maintenance-free gearboxes. Just to wrap it up, remove the cross member, which is bolted with 2 screws. Remove the inner screw, let the oil drop out. Remove the outer screw, that one with the tube. 2 liter of oils will come out. Screw back in, fill it up again until it comes out. Then let the engine start. Go through all the gears twice or 3 times. Let the car be like 4 or 5 seconds into gear, and then top it up again until it comes again out of the outer screw, and then you have like topped up the gearbox completely. Turn the engine off and start from the beginning, removing again all the oil from it. You do that 3 times, and the 3rd time that I did it, you really start to see the oil was not longer black, it was transparent, it was still not red, it had like this brownish thing. So like yeah, it's quite impossible to use that much oil to remove the completely old oil. But my suggestion is the next time this customer comes in and wants to change the engine oil, I'm not going to do it now, because it's like 70%, it says, the maintenance display in the car. So maybe next spring I just do it once with 4 liters, and maybe every second engine oil change, so like every 50,000 kilometers, just do it again to get the dirt out. I think that it's a good thing if you have like a customer or your own car that really cares about maintenance and want to drive this car as long as possible without having the transmission rebuilt. Yeah, and the final thing at the end of your last oil change, just put the inner screw in after you let the engine running and filling it up until it comes out, and then overfill it with about 0.4 liters of oil when the engine is at 40 degrees, 2.7 at a full operating temperature. So I know I talk a lot of things and I didn't show as much because I think the job is not quite difficult. It's more important to have like a big picture, so you don't get confused. And if you have any questions, feel free to write in the comments, and I will reply to that. The next steps will be to change the Haldex oil, so the clutch that activates the 4x4, and just the middle and the rear differential. For that I need to remove the complete exhaust to get to the filling screws. It's maintenance free, but I think the car is worth it. It has about 300 horsepower. I didn't drive it that hard yet because I wanted to have everything serviced first. It feels quite fast, but maybe not as fast as you think. It's still a quite heavy car, but it has tons of space. Maybe I do just a walk around of it.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time on the Old World Garage channel.